Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's Sigma Virtual Hour. I am Brother Kevani Easley, and again, welcome to the Financial Aid Night with the Sigmas. Tonight we have Brother James that will be providing an overview of the financial aid process, and at the end of the presentation, we will then take questions. So please save them as best as you can until the end of the presentation. Before we dive into Financial Aid Night, here's a little bit about the Access College Foundation, where Brother James works. The foundation has been helping students to go to college since 1988. Currently, they serve students and families in over 30 high schools across the Southampton Roads and Northampton County regional area. Since Access was founded, they have helped over 80,000 students and have helped them leverage over, get this, $827 million in financial aid. That's a very, very big number. And so we are just blessed to have Brother James with us, who's going to share a little bit of his experience, a little bit of knowledge that can help each and every one of us in terms of financial aid. So if you have a student in your home, if it's you that may want to go to college and use financial aid, this presentation is for you. And now for our feature presentation. So let's go ahead and welcome Brother James. Brother James, welcome tonight, man. You have the floor. Go ahead and tell us what you got for us.
All right, thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for tuning in live with us. So tonight I'm going to talk a bit about the FAFSA. I know that a lot of people have been eagerly waiting to get that FAFSA form because they've completed their college applications early. So here's an update. Give me 1 second. Let me share my screen. I have a little difficulty here. 1 second. I'm not sure what is happening. 1 second.
As you prepare for it, James, I think one of the major things to point out is how long the FAFSA has been around. I mean, just reading the introduction, it just amazes me that it was around since 1988. And that's important, especially for a lot of communities that have to use the FAFSA. You know, not everybody has the coin, or not everybody has just money laying around to go to college, because it is expensive. I know over there at the college that I currently work at, I have quite a few students who use the FAFSA, and so I'm just excited for us to have this event tonight so that I can share with them a little bit about what the FAFSA is all about. You know, not a day goes by where I don't have a student in my office that is talking about financial aid. In particularly, you know, at the community college level, you know, one of the more important things has always been the student being able to break down their academic degree completion plan. We've got a couple of career study certificates that are 14 credits long, which means that those career study certificate, as it pertains to the Virginia Community College system, is not eligible for financial aid. So those students have to pay out of pocket. And so again, the main thing is here is for us to be able to have moments like this where we sit down and we just slow down long enough to talk about that information, because knowledge is always going to be key. Anybody who's worked in education knows, or anybody who's worked in any profession, and particularly, let's talk about the medical profession. The first thing that they tell you is when you get a medical diagnosis, now you need to get educated about it. And that's because with the solution comes a certain level of knowledge that you have to have. And so one of the main things is, how much do you know about the FAFSA in your area? Who are the key points of contact in your particular area, whether it's going to be in high school or whether you're open enrollment going to a college? Do you know who to go to find and answer these questions? So again, James, we just really appreciate you coming here tonight to share some of your just some of your knowledge and some of your experience. So if you don't mind, James, what I want to do is kind of go to just ask you some questions
Yeah, I'm
about
ready.
the FAFSA. Say again.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right then.
Alrighty, so sorry for that little technical difficulty. But just to talk a little bit about the FAFSA, it's the free application for federal student aid, and it's a federal form for prospective and current college students to determine their eligibility for student financial aid from different colleges and universities. Since 2016, the FAFSA has been known to open October 1st. However, this year, due to some changes being made to the form, it's now set to open this year only, December 31st. So it's very important that all current high school seniors should complete their FAFSA for the first year of college next year. Once again, that date is going to be December 31st. And a new FAFSA should be filed each year that the student plans on enrolling in college. Completing the FAFSA is the key to unlocking federal, state, and institutional aid. Now, when we're talking about aid, there are different types. So, for example, grants, which is free money that you do not have to pay back. Students can receive grants from the federal government, the state, college, or university that they attend. And the only way to be eligible to receive a grant from the federal government is by filing the FAFSA form. Another type of aid is scholarships, and that aid also you do not have to pay back. Scholarships can come from many places, including colleges and universities, community organizations, your parents' work, banks, and many other types of places. The biggest key with the scholarships is to apply, apply, apply. There is no ceiling on how many scholarships you can apply for. One more type we have are loans, which is the type of aid that you must pay back. When you file the FAFSA form, you can become eligible for a federal student loan. The loan is often broken up into two different parts. There's a subsidized loan and an unsubsidized loan. With the subsidized loan portion, the federal government pays the interest on the loan while you are in school. And in the unsubsidized portion of the loan, interest accrues while the loan, while you're still in school. And so the biggest key with student loans is to only borrow what you need. Also, by filing the FAFSA, it does not automatically give you the loan. It just lets you know what you are qualified for or how much. Each year, there is a cap on how much loans you can take out as a student. So for a freshman, it's $5,500 per year, and then it goes up as a sophomore, up as a junior, and then up as a senior. The last type of aid is work study. Work study is aid that the college offers to the student where the student works a small job somewhere on the campus, and in return, they would receive money like a job, and they can apply that towards their tuition. Work study jobs are normally about 10 to 15 hours a week, and if you're offered work studied as an aid type, first come, first serve basis. So if that is something that is of interest to you when you do the FAFSA, make sure that you check that off.
So, James, as you get ready to try to share the presentation again, I just want to go back to something that you said earlier. You said that there is no cap as to how many scholarships somebody applies for.
Correct. So with the scholarships, it doesn't just have to be from the FAFSA. I know a lot of different high schools offer different scholarships. If you attended an elementary school in a certain area, they may offer scholarships as well. And then also the Beta Sigma chapter of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, we offer scholarships as well, usually in the springtime for high school seniors who are scheduled to graduate and attend college the upcoming fall.
So, when someone is awarded the scholarship, how do they get the money? Is that sent to them to their address of record via a check, or is that going straight to the institution from the organization that has awarded them the scholarship?
So it can be two different uh ways.
Mm.
Um a lot of scholarships send it directly to the registrar or financial aid office once it's awarded. So a student will get a notification, either call or email or physical letter saying, hey, you've been awarded this particular scholarship, and we're going to mail it to the registrar or the college. Um, and then they would probably want to verify that the student is actually attending school. So they will request like an enrollment letter from the university, which would go to the registrar office on that campus and get. Um, or a lot of times they want to see the official letters saying that, hey, congratulations, you've been admitted into the university.
Okay.
And
Gotcha.
then there's also, hold on. There is also the uh way that we're finding now, a lot of scholarship scholarship are sending them directly to the student, and in a sense, so it won't hurt their aid package that they receive from the university. A lot of times they're noticing that when a lot of scholarship money comes in, the financial aid office of that institution will reduce the amount of aid that they're offering because they see that a student is getting a certain amount of scholarship money.
So when you say aid, for those who are preparing to go to college, what is aid in comparison to the student loan or financial aid?
So aid can be the federal money from the FAFSA, which could be a grant, a fellowship, or any type of scholarship, or merit-based scholarship based off of the application that is offered to a student. It could also be any outside money that you have coming in from outside scholarships, like from your high school or from a community service organization, things like that.
Okay, thank you. All right, so it seems that you've got a nice little presentation that has been prepared for us. So, man, go ahead and just run on through some of your information that you have, man. We look forward to seeing what you got for us. So, take it away, man.
All righty, thank you. Here we go. All righty. So once again, welcome. This is first when we talked a little bit about what FAFSA that is going to open on December 31st, and be on the lookout for that. Okay, and then we also talked about the types of financial aid that is available: grants, loans, scholarships, and then federal work study. And so, who is eligible to receive financial aid? The criteria that the Department of Education uses is that a student must be a citizen or eligible non-citizen enrolled into a degree or certificate program at least on a half-time basis, and the student cannot be in default on a federal loan. Eligible non-US citizens are eligible for financial aid if they meet any of the criteria listed, the most common being the US permanent resident with a permanent resident card. Um, we do have a lot of undocumented students that we're serving. And so if they don't meet any of that criteria, they still may be eligible for state-based aid, but not the federal. And with state-based aid, they would file the VASTA, the VASA, Virginia Alternative State Aid application. The access advisors in the schools are very knowledgeable about this process as well. So if you fall into this category, do not hesitate to reach out to your access advisor. A lot of them are located in the counseling suite or somewhere near school counseling in your schools. Now, determining on who should complete the FAFSA. So, of course, you will have the student, and they are known as a contributor. And then, depending on the situation in your house, you would need either one or two parents, depending on what the situation is. So, if you are a student living home with both biological parents and they're married and they filed taxes together, either or parent will need an FSA ID. Okay. And that FSA ID will allow you access to actually completing the application once you've been verified. And we'll talk a little bit about that later. Now, if you are living at home with one parent, then obviously it'll just be that one parent you will need to create an FSA ID. Let's say you had your parents were divorced in the previous tax year, but they filed taxes together. Even though that one parent, the other parent is not in the home, you will still need both parents to create the FSA ID. Okay. And so it will take a total of 3 contributors to complete the FAFSA form. So going back a little bit about the FSA ID, depending on the scenarios provided in the previous slide, that would be who would need an FSA ID. It will always be the student because it's the package is being created for you. And then for students who are attending college fall 2024, it will always be based on tax years 2 years prior. So it will be based on the situation that was in your home in 2022. So if both parents were living in the home and they filed their taxes together in 2022, that's what the FAFSA application will be based off on, and we will need that tax information. So creating the FSAID, this is going to be very, very key to accessing this FAFSA application when it opens in December. So you would need your valid email address. Students, do not use your school email addresses. When you graduate high school, those email addresses disappear and you will no longer have access to those. So it's best to create a personal/professional email address, not only for the FAFSA application, but also for your college applications as you are submitting those to different colleges and universities. Okay. Your mobile telephone number, this verification method, when they send a code to your mobile phone, that will probably be the quickest and the easiest verification way. So definitely use the mobile number. Social Security number. Be sure that you know all 9 digits of your Social Security number. That number you do not want to screw up on the FAFSA form, on your college application, going through a verification process, because a entity cannot identify who you are, can be a little pain in the butt. It could go from actually going to a location to verify who you are with a birth certificate or social security number, an ID, long phone calls, which everyone wants to avoid. So please make sure that you know your social security number or have access to it. So when it's time to do these applications, you have it and it's ready. Also, your date of birth, your full legal name, and your address. Now, for this upcoming year, parents who do not have a social security number will be able to create an FSAID, but their process is going to be a little bit different from the traditional. And then I recommend, just in case something happens, that both parents create an FSAID. If you set an appointment to come in, one parent cannot come in, but the other one is available. Situation like that, it makes it a little bit easier to move through the process. So previously with the FSAID and the old FAFSA application, you have been able to do that in the same day. With this new application, that is not the case. We are asking that you at least give yourself at least 1 week to create the FAFSA ID, just in case something happens where they need to do a little bit more verification. With that, you will be able to have that wiggle room to do so before you access the application. And it's a very easy process. Takes about 5 to 10 minutes. All the information from the previous screen, and also with addition to creating 4 challenge questions, takes about 5 to 10 minutes and then you're done. If the Social Security Administration is not able to verify who you are, you will get a notice. And then depending on what they were not able to verify, more than likely the number itself, they will tell you what you would need to do in order to correct the situation. So with my flow chart here, you see you have a social security number, but if you go down, if it's not verified, in the red boxes, first it would be knowledge-based questions that you would have to answer. And then if you successfully pass those, you'll be identified. If you don't pass the knowledge-based verification questions, you'll then move on into an ID proofing, which is one of their last resort verifications. So after you create the FSA ID, you'll be set to do the FAFSA when it opens. And what do you need to file the FAFSA? Even though it's not opening until December, creating the FSA ID, that's something you can do right away. Also, making sure that you have access to your 2022 tax returns and W-2s. Child support received within the last 12 months is a big key item on the new FAFSA. So make sure that you have those numbers. And then asset information like cash, savings, and checkings account, your net worth of investments. If you have a small business, just the net worth of those. And then if you received or receive any of the federal benefits, SNAP, WIC, etc., they want that. And then also a list of colleges that the student plans on applying to. Previously, it's been 10 colleges or universities. They're upping that number to 20. So you can put up to 20 different schools on your FAFSA application. And then another big item on the FAFSA, every contributor has to consent to the DDX, which is the data retrieval exchange tool on the form. And that just permits you to allow the IRS to send over the information from the tax filing year. If you do not consent, you will not be eligible for any federal aid and they will not process the application. So once again, no consent, no federal aid. Now, when you complete the FAFSA, a lot of colleges have priority filing deadlines. And we have seen that change since the FAFSA is coming out later than normal. So expect to have your FAFSA completed somewhere between February 1st and April 1st to allow those financial aid offices in the different colleges and universities to process an award. So you've completed the FSA ID, you have completed the FAFSA. So what happens next? So after you have successfully submitted the FAFSA form, within 1 to 3 business days, the Department of Education will provide, they will process the FAFSA, and then the student will be able to view their FSS, which is the FAFSA Submission Summary. Previously, that was known as the SAR Student Aid Report. They've changed some of the verbiage. It is now known as the FSS. On the FSS, you will see the SAI, the Student Aid Index, which was previously EFC, the Estimated Family Contribution. You will see that listed on the FSS. And with that, that will tell you if you're eligible for any of the Pell Grants, which a lot of schools look for. And then once it's processed, you will receive an electronic copy of your FSS. What do colleges do with your FAFSA? So based on the FAFSA, they come up with the SAI, and then that is subtracted from the COA, which is the cost of attendance to attend one of those schools that have been listed on your FAFSA. And that includes tuition and fees, meal and housing, books and supplies, travel expenses, loan fees if you have any, and also personal expenses, and then other educational expenses that you may have. So the cost of attendance minus your need based off the FAFSA, the SAI will determine what kind of package you will get from the college or university. So I have three different examples here. College A, it costs the student $12,800 to attend that college or university. But on the FAFSA, it's been determined that your student aid index is 4,000. So the SAI will not change, as you see, but depending on the cost of attendance for each college or university, based on the cost, will help determine different amounts, as you see. So even though college A, it costs $12,800, subtract the 4,000, the student has a need of $8,800. And that need is what colleges and universities are going to try to put together their package for the student. So as we're wrapping up here, some things to remember about the FAFSA. When it opens, make sure, being that it's a little later than normal, make sure that you try to get that filed. It is only this year that it is opening December 1st. Next year, it will return to October 1st. Scholarships are going to be key. Even after you graduate, there are scholarships for college level students. So continue to be on the lookout and do your research when it comes to scholarships. Any scholarship application, any application that you submit, make sure that you're keeping copies of those just in case there are any discrepancies and you have to fix something. The financial aid office at your college, they're great resources. Definitely reach out to them, especially if you see something incorrect with your package. And then a lot of the schools have access advisors. We serve 30 different high schools in our area. Please make sure that you are reaching out to them so they can help you with the FAFSA application. A lot of the access advisors will start taking appointments in January, right after the winter holiday break. So as long as you have the FSA ID created, you will be able to get an appointment and go in with your families to complete the FAFSA form. Okay. And that is it.
Oh man, outstanding presentation, Brother James. We really do appreciate you providing us with some information. You gave us a lot. And here's the first question, okay? Can you let us know what SAI stands for again, please?
Yes, SAI is the Student Aid Index. Some of you who have students and you've already filled out the FAFSA for previous years, that is equivalent to the EFC, which is the estimated family contribution. They just changed the terminology. So it's how much that the family can contribute to the college education for that student.
All right, outstanding, man. And you said another one. It was PAL. I think it was PAL. For those who have not heard of that before, what is the Pell Grant and who is eligible?
So that is a need-based grant, meaning that the family has demonstrated through the FAFSA that they have a need to help cover the college cost. The Pell Grant is a federal grant that can only be determined for eligibility by completing the FAFSA form. That is free, and you do not have to pay that back to help cover your college expenses.
Oh man, that's good to hear. So here's a question that I got for you. Um, what happens if a student or a person has a parent that did not file their taxes?
Yes. So, um, depending on the situation, if they don't have to file taxes or they choose not to file taxes, um, if they do not have to file taxes, that's fine. Um, the data retrieval tool will tell the FAFSA application that they do not have to, and that is fine. Now, if they choose not to file it, for whatever reason, the situation can get sticky, and depending on the circumstances, that could lead to the student not getting aid.
Understood. Thank you so much. Another question that we have from our audience is, why does the FAFSA have to be renewed every year? And does it have to be renewed every year? So can a student use the same FAFSA that they used last year? I mean, it's the same person, the same identity.
Right. So the answer is no. You have to renew it every year. Life may change, circumstances change, and then also they're doing it based off of the tax year. It's always 2 years prior. So for students who are attending school fall 2024, you're going to be looking at the 2022 tax year, and they're doing all the information based off of that. When you go to school for fall 2025, the tax year is now out. They're moved on to 2023 taxes. And then also, if a student goes through a life circumstance, let's say a parent was lost or they become homeless, those situations are unique and will allow the student to file the FAFSA without the parent.
Okay, that makes sense. So if a student completes the FAFSA at the proper deadline, do they have to start school immediately in that academic calendar? Can they start school during the spring semester?
Yes. So with the FAFSA for this FAFSA coming up, it'll be that package or aid year is fall 2024. It's fall 2024, spring 2025, and summer 2025. Fall 2025, that is a whole new application.
Gotcha. So everything starts over at the fall semester.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So another question that we have coming in is, if a student completes the FAFSA, does that mean that they get the financial aid automatic?
No, no, no. So all that means is telling you what you are qualified or eligible for from the school. There is something, so once you do the FAFSA, the financial aid office will send you an award letter telling you their package, what you were offered, and you have to sign off or check it off and give it back to the financial office saying, hey, I want to accept or I want to decline, if it's the scholarships or if it's the loans. And then if you do like end up accepting the loans, there's an additional process that you will need to complete.
Okay, that makes sense. So every now and then, family dynamics change,
Mhm.
and those family dynamics can have an effect. So, what about prospective students who are wanting to go to college in the academic calendar of 2024, but mom and dad got divorced in academic calendar of 2023? How will that affect their application?
So if they got divorced in 2023, we're going to have to both parents are still going to have to create an FSA ID to be a contributor on that FAFSA for that year. once we get to the 2023 tax year, so the start of fall of 2025, then we can make then those changes will come into play.
Okay,
But
that
it
makes
won't unfortunately it won't do anything for the current year, but the next year you'll be able to make that change.
okay. So some students are already working on their own. Um, does that mean if they already have a job while they're in high school that they have to submit documentation for paying taxes from their job? Or do they still fall up under just only needing mom and dad's information?
Now, if they filed taxes on their own, then yes, they will also need to provide tax documents and W-2s. If it was placed under their parents, they will not need to do
Okay,
so.
all right. What about for students who plan to pay for college out of pocket? Would you recommend that they complete the FAFSA or not?
So yes, I would still I still think that it will be beneficial for them completing the FAFSA. One, a lot of colleges are requiring it so they can view that financial background of you and your family. Two, it never hurts to see what money you are eligible for. Um, so if you can qualify yourselves for the free money, you can use that, and then set aside what you have for a rainy day.
All right. Can you use financial aid at the same time you are using a scholarship? Can you also use it at the same time as a grant? Is it possible to be eligible for all three of those?
Yes, yes. And you can use all of those at the same time at one institution. You cannot uh use it at multiple use institutions at the same time. You can use all three at the same time, but at one location.
Okay, then. So if a student is in a situation, and you and I being in education, we've seen this before. If a student decides to take a course during the summertime at another institution, they have to pay for that institution out of pocket, or will they need to do the FAFSA again for that next?
More than likely that will come out of pocket. Um, Now I have seen instances where the financial aid office was able to work something out, but it would be one dependent upon the school, and then how many credit hours you are taking during the summer. You will still need to make sure that you are considered for aid. So that would be like a minimum of 6 credit hours being taken uh during the summer. And then you would need to make sure, if you're not taking classes at your home institution, that that school is on your FAFSA form. Yes, and then just to recap, make sure that you go ahead and create the FSA ID now. So when the application opens, you will be ready to go for that. And then also, every contributor on the application, they will need to consent to have the DDX tool to use that retrieval tool. So if you do not consent, you will not receive any aid. So no consent, no aid.
All right, outstanding. Sorry about that. I had a little bit of connectivity issue there. Okay. So I think that about does it for tonight, unless we have any other questions that are coming from the chat or any of our online audience. So James, if someone has any questions about the FAFSA after tonight, what's the best way to get into contact with you to ask those questions?
So my email, oh. First, I would definitely reach out to your school's access advisor, especially if you already have working relationships with them. But also, I can be reached at J, B as in boy, COAXUM 1914 @gmail.com.
All right, then say it to us one more time for those that were trying to write that down.
Yes, JBCOAXUM 1914 @gmail.com.
All righty then. Thank you so much. Well, James, it was truly a pleasure and an honor to have you come and talk to each and every last one of us about the FAFSA. To our audience out there, I just want to thank you for your time as well. Make sure that you are sharing and sending this information, not just with high school students that want to go to college, but with anybody that wants to go to college that you may know. And again, if you have any questions, please reach out to Brother James. He is an access counselor. He's been doing it for a while. He's a veteran in the game, and he is our resident expert within the chapter that will be more than happy to explain and answer those questions. At this time, this brings us to a close. I want to tell everybody to have a great and wonderful evening. Thank you so much for your time.